Alright, YouTube, what... oh, excuse me, Jesus, microphone users, apologies. What is up? We are at part 10 of the road to 180, and this is post getting a chest infection. So, after I had that pretty big night on the Saturday at the social event, I ended up training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as we said, and then I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And this is the first session back. So I wasn't feeling too bad here. Was just feeling, I've still got a little bit cough. Was just feeling out doing the hang powers, kept it to 110 kilos. You can see here, just a little bit sloppy with my lockout, and my overall speed didn't feel awesome. So whenever that happens, obviously when you're recovering from sickness, no matter how good you're feeling after you think you're over it, it's good just to hit your doubles or your triples and just make sure that they count. That second set was a lot better, and then this third one was obviously the best one. Still just like not super fast after that contact, but still made all of them hang powers. Then we moved to our hang power plans. We're doing triples at 130 kilos with straps on. First two reps felt awesome, but then always that third rep was super challenging, almost catching in a half squat. I personally don't like straps on cleans that much. I just find my turnover slows down a lot, but because my front rack on my left shoulder is super horrible, it is just a lot easier to do using the straps just to make sure that the turnover is good. Continues to improve. So here they are. You can see how my second pushes me down. And even like within the set, I start to dive under the bar as opposed to stand tall and catch, which is what's happening in the first two reps of each set. So that's pretty annoying. Sorry, the dog was being bloody sooky. He's doing the commentary. So yeah, hitting these 130s, and again, almost that last rep was feeling a bit tough. Then we move on to the hang clean high pulls. Given how I was feeling, these were actually really good. I think I PB'd by getting 2.1 meters a second, which is a massive PB, like 0.1 improvement compared to what I did in the past. I think I hit multiple sets of 2 meters a second to 2.1, so the squats felt awful. But yeah, it's always weird, like, obviously when it's like a week of sickness, you always, these are me practicing my 2 point starts. Getting a lot better, just learning how to roll forward into them. The week of sickness, you always just have to be like, or the week after as well. Just play around with the intensity, because you obviously never want to be doing too much, because that contributes to your overall fatigue for the week, particularly when I'm on my feet all day. When I am coaching or if I'm on my computer, it sort of makes it work a little bit harder, because I just feel like I've got brain fog the entire time. So you just got to do what you can when you've got that sickness. But yeah, I think playing around with the numbers is always a good thing. This week, coming on to the Wednesday, and even on like the Tuesday, like I played around with those squat numbers. I think I did my 3x3 at 180. I started feeling relatively normal by Wednesday, and Tuesday I just did my sprints with that 2 point start, and then just did a top set at 180 and then 160, and just not being stupid. And Wednesday was a little bit of a short one. I think I had stuff to do. I think I had to take Bossy to the vet and stuff like that for his annual vax. So yeah, then we had a day off on Thursday, a bit of active recovery and mobility. And then we come to our Friday morning session, got the John Deere shirt on, extra power using that. I started feeling really good at the start of the session, touch and go set of 120 push presses, and then I hit a 140, which you'll see in a second. But overall, like, using my back and my legs way better now, rather than just all my joints hurting when I'm trying to do the Olympic lift. So I can sort of tell you that you're on the other side of the sickness. Hopefully, here's that 140 push press. Smashed it. And then we hit this, quite an easy 140 double power clean into split jerk, and that's when we were sort of like, okay, we can push the weight a little bit here. Probably play around with doing something north of 160, and then even here 150 at a pretty high power clean. Just had to be resting a little bit longer in these doubles. Again, just felt like out of breath, and also hip was hurting. Particularly on that one, you can see that one do the jerk after that. Then 155, this was my top set for the power clean and clean. Still catching that relatively high. That clean was almost a power 2. Jerk was easy. I've been getting a little bit of like hip adductor pain here and there. It almost feels like it's just out of place. So I've been doing all my hip health and midline health stuff just to make sure we try and fix that issue. But it'll just sort of catch every now and then when I think on this record I put it as well on the record. I don't want to bother doing the jerk here. But then we moved to clean and jerk, and these 165s were super tidy. A little bit crashy on that first clean. Jerk was nice though, stepping out really well, a little bit off the shoulders. But then this clean, holding that hook grip a little bit longer, not nearly as crashy, and then this jerk, I think the lockout's a bit better. Yeah, the left shoulder's just tight. And then we had our snatch high pulls and then some bodybuilding afterwards. And then it was, what was Friday? Got to go home, do some work, and then relax for the rest of the afternoon, go catch up with the Geo boys. Congratulations on 15 years of CrossFit Geo, which is massive. When it's all down and beat the Geo and ages into bodybuilding with Brandon, which was nice. Then we come to Saturday, so obviously in the Westside Barbell singlet, my shoulders were tanked from doing that bodybuilding session with Brandon, so we just kept it moderate. Did an EMOM of snatches again, just to continue getting better feeling for the movement, and then did some singles of trying to just catch powers at 120. I'd say 3 or 4 of them were cheap powers and the rest were not. And then some Macati complex, and then about 4 sets with 130. And then there was some sets of back squats at 200. So yeah, another really solid week. Got a few more weeks until I get married, so just trying to cram in as much good training as we can before that period, where I think the training will be a bit haphazard. But good to be back, feeling relatively normal, and then on to 11 next week. See you then.